In Australia, a huge range of our species are dependent on hollows for survival. This includes birds like our lorikeets and parrots, and many of our mammals, our brush-tailed and ring-tailed possums, sugar gliders, feather-tailed gliders, and our microbats, as well as snakes and lizards. They all depend on hollows for breeding and habitat. We often hear about the housing crisis, but there's another housing crisis that's affecting our wildlife: the loss of hollow-bearing trees across our urban areas. And they're leaving our wildlife with nowhere to breed or find shelter, and it's pushing them out of their habitat in the bushland. Preventing the loss of old growth trees, which contain hollows, is crucial for protecting our wildlife. But another part of the solution is the creation of hollows, or the putting up in trees of artificial hollows. There's many different ways to do that, but one way in particular is to cut into the trees using a special technique, drilling open a hole and creating a hollow that can be used for generations of wildlife. We're going to have a look at that today.
Today we are creating hollows as naturally as possible using a device called the hollow hog. So we just bore into the tree and make as big a cavity as the tree will allow.
We have quite a big part in this project that we're very excited about. We applied for a grant from High Corps to do this nest building, and so we're very excited because this is the day that we're going to see most of it happening. So our arborist is here working on putting up a lot of nest hollows, and we're hoping to have like a motel, a hotel for wildlife.
Today we're installing some hollows into a dead tree. We'll drill the hollows first, and then we add these faceplates up on top for the animal to enter a larger hollow. So you might get something like a little native marsupial, an antechinus in there, or maybe even a frog. And this one I quite like is possibly for microbats. So we have some microbats recorded in the area. There's about 19 species in Sydney in general. And they really like to live in hollows as well, and they've got this little shape for the bats to scuttle in and hopefully a bigger hollow behind it.
So in terms of selecting where to place hollows, kind of let the tree and let the aspect of the tree and its branches determine where we put the hollows. So I'm putting microbat hollows kind of higher up, and also where there's a nice big open space in front and below, so they can fly upwards and up into the cavity.
Wildlife rescuers, we see a lot of animals that are injured or certainly lost their homes because of loss of habitat. And it goes further than just losing their homes. Of course, they also lose their connectivity, so they can't get across the trees. They have to come down to the ground, and when they come to the ground, they get attacked by cats and dogs, or they get hit by cars on the road. So there are many ways that are secondary to habitat destruction that affect the wildlife.
The trees take at least 100 years to form a hollow. So by putting in additional hollows, we're creating homes for wildlife that they can use in the near future.
It's been a really successful day here, and we've managed to put in a number of different habitat options into that old blackbutt tree. We'll be monitoring the success of these hollows in terms of what species are using them and over what period of time for the next months and years, and we'll be putting those results on the Council's website. A huge thank you to the full team that was involved in helping us to bring a project like this together. See you next time.